Hello, it's Leslie, and just want to give you a little taste of what is Ageless Pilates. I get this question all the time. What makes your program different? What am I going to get out of it? Well, truly, what this program is designed to do is to give you, the practitioner or a student, the ability to combine myofascial release with reformer training or mat training. Generally speaking, we so overuse our hip flexors in too many classical exercises and or from sitting all day long, et cetera, et cetera. And we wonder why we have back issues, why we have knee issues. At the end of the day, we need extension and we need to really release our hip flexors. So, for example, when you think about when we're doing our regular footwork on the reformer, depending on how many springs you might be loading on, at least maybe 3 springs, like 3 reds or something like that, if you use a balanced body reformer. Okay. And you're starting in hip flexion. So we're already in a flexed position and we're focusing on our quadriceps because I hear this all the time. Well, what about our hamstrings? So if you were to place your hands on your hamstrings and fully extend, okay, you're still going to feel your hamstrings are not that engaged because of the position of our hips are still essentially in flexion. So I'm moving from a more flexed position to a flexed position, if that makes sense. So as you're moving forward and back, to take your attention to the quads, to take attention to neutral spine, which we know. But if I go to this position and then tighten my glutes, I'm actually creating more dysfunction into my hips. So to tighten the glutes does not make sense. So even if we look at all these exercises from our footwork to this, which I don't teach, the 100, all these exercises are a lot of flexion. And a lot of people say, I actually feel more compressed after doing Pilates than I do feel lengthened. So with that being said, then you combine into it some myofascial work by moving now into extension. So if I'm starting once again in this position, my hips are flexed, right? When I place my thighs on the roller, I'm now more neutral. And as I start to move a little bit farther towards my hips are extended. So the beauty of adding in some myofascial work, especially in the quads, if you've done heavy duty leg work, and you allow the toes to slide on your mat after you've done these exercises, you will find that the hips become more released. Not only then, you can also, if you're using the roll gut, is place the round end underneath the hip flexor and just pause for a moment for a relief of the hip flexors. So it's just pausing here for that moment. But where my spine is and where my hip is or my knee is, I'm now extended versus being in a flexed position. These are all the wonderful tools and techniques that you will actually gain from taking Ageless Pilates, because truly our goal in our program is simply this, is how different you can feel by utilizing classical reformer, but yet utilizing it more functionally, combining in myofascial release. This is Leslie, and I hope this gives you some ideas of what Ageless Pilates is. And don't forget to go to Ageless Training Academy to see some of our upcoming events. Hope to see you there.